Hey, good morning, guys. It's a beautiful day here. Happy Easter, man. It's Easter today. Um, and it's cool, nice and cool up here on the Mountain of Kings. And yes, I do have coffee today. Uh, been not as jittery, I guess, as the steroid pills kind of stepped down. Haven't been as jittery during the day. Haven't been as nauseated. I did have a little run with it yesterday with nausea. And they told me, one of the things you got to really look for sores in your mouth and vomiting. And my praise today is that at this point in time, I have not noticed any sores in my mouth, and I have not one time thrown up. Um, but I'm an old pro. I think I got a gut of steel because all my life I've practiced with a lot of different eating. Um, and So I don't know. I think it's going to take a. I say that, and then tomorrow I'll probably throw my guts up. But I think the good Lord's going to give me the strength to, appears right now anyway, to stomach a lot of the chemicals and pills and whatever it be that causes a lot of that stuff. So right now I think we're keeping it at bay. My biggest complaints, and I did have some aching in my bones and my joints, headaches. I got a good keep a headache, and I don't know. Maybe I need to try to start taking more Tylenol because I think those headaches are calling that beast. The beast is ugly. Remember. So yesterday I had a good bout with the beast. Um, so maybe I'll try and start taking Tylenol or something a little bit more to knock that thing out. Um, but yeah, mostly it's the fatigue, the headaches, a little bit of joint ache here and there, and the fatigue really kicks in probably around lunchtime. I did get up this morning to take my pills, so we're good for that, and we're going to get after today. Praises for today. That yesterday was not near as bad as I suppose it could have been. Had a good visit. Val and Josh stopped by, and Val did something. Valerie and Josh are so sweet, man, because they just come up here to serve. They just want to help and do whatever they can. And so she cleaned our house. Maybe I'll show you a view of that one day next week when nobody's here or something. But there's some people in there sleeping and stuff. But it's all windows across the front, and I mean like, well, 1, 2, 3, 6, 12, 30, 40, 15. 15 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So basically 15 times 13, and I'm just going to do 15 times 10 is 150. So there's more than 150 6x9 window panes. Actually, you double that because she did front and back. She washed over 300 windows uh, for myself and Leah, because that's just one of those things that we probably would not have been able to fit in the midst of everything we got going on. And then like I say, they just so wonderful to have come up. So praises for that. Got the windows washed. Josh was able to set some fence posts up at the road to help me with some stuff and a couple other things. And then somehow Benji pulled his tether down. We have a tether for him, which is kind of like an aerial line. And I don't know that Benji did it, but I thought I had put it up there pretty good. It had been up there for a year and a half, maybe more. And just for whatever reason, he hates gunshots. And Lee was sitting out on the porch and heard some gunshots. And here he come. He was still on the tether, but it was loose from the other end of the tree, and he had all kind of room. Boy, he just come around here to the front porch. He's like, "Hey guys, what's up? There's some gunshots, and I'm about ready to come in." So anyway, Josh was able to help fix that before he had to get on the road yesterday. So praises for all of that, man. I just thank God for bringing me people and helping me do things to get through. because I'm really getting frustrated with not being able to do a whole lot. Um, some stuff happened in the house this morning with the cat, and Leah wouldn't even let me clean it up. I mean, and I get it. I get it. So y'all keep praying for me to deal with the frustration and the pain, and to keep that beast locked inside that cage, or you know, just actually do what I say and give it to God. I know that's easy to say. You know, y'all pray for me. I don't want to be nasty. I don't want to be mean, and then I'll be nasty and mean. So I just got to keep thinking about how. So maybe it is that I just actually start taking whatever I got to take to get me in a better place, so that I ain't so easily frustrated and mean as a snake. Um, and also, you know, prayer for today. My dad and his wife are coming up. Joanne is coming up, and I love Joanne dearly. Um, and my dad has been remarried now for, I guess, a couple years, and I do. I love her so much, and she is a big part of the family. And I got to kind of come to terms with what to call her, man. And I'll figure that out. God will give me the right answer, because she is more than just my dad's wife and a friend of the family. And but at the same time, I don't want to. My mama's gone. Uh, so anyway, but I love her the same. So I got to work through that, and God will give me the right thing to call her. It's kind of strange. I'm 51 years old, and having these, you know, just having to kind of think through this stuff. And only child for 51 years, and now I got stepbrothers. I think it's funny. But they're great people. They all are, and they are. My dad couldn't have made it without her. Honestly, he after my mom passed, that was hard. They had been together, you know, kind of like me and Leah. I mean, he had been with her a whole lot more of his life than he had ever been without her. So anyway, so they're coming up today, and they're bringing a Hungarian family dish for Easter. It's stuffed cabbage, and man, I love it. I don't know that the kids love it, but they like it. But Joanne's also going to do, because I'm putting it out here. I'm going on the record. I've been doing a little research, and I told you I got the books. People sending me some stuff in the mail called something along the lines of How to Starve Cancer. But it basically really drives home the fact there's been a lot of people diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, went through chemo. It didn't really do a whole lot, but in the process, they really started controlling their diet and kind of really dug into how cancer, the parasite of cancer, works and this and that. And there's a lot of people out there, and this is not backed by any doctors or clinicals or whatever, that are saying that you can starve cancer to a point where, so like if the good Lord blesses me uh, and my family with getting this thing beat back enough or into remission. I know he said it's endurable, not curable, but I don't know what that means. I'm still hoping that there's an option for remission. And if I can get that over these next 4 or 5 months, um, and then control it with diet and buy myself some time, I'm down. Uh, you know, I mean, geez Louise, and we say it all the time. And even though I'm saying it, I'm sitting here. Yesterday, I ate a half a bag of freaking Nutter Butters. They were these kind that somebody had brought them into the house, and they were a new kind that I had never seen. They were wafers, and I was like, I'll just eat one of these because they're more healthy than the other Nutter Butters. They gotta be, because they're thin and they're wafers. And then I ate like half the bag, and they were good. But anyway, I got to stop doing that, because I sit here and say, I want to live and I'll do whatever I got to do. So do I really? And I used to get frustrated with my mom about that too, because you know, there were certain things that she just wouldn't do, even though we all knew it would be good for her to do it, and she wouldn't. And now here I am doing the same stupid stuff. So the apple don't fall far from the tree, and I can promise you this apple is definitely from my mama's tree. Um, so they're coming up today. That'll be good. Brandon's here. Brandon, don't think he has to work today. We'll probably have to figure something out because we're still trying to deal with getting him a rim. So a brand new rim, because you know Brandon's about broke through this whole process with his car. He's already spent about $1,200, and he's still trying to get this one tire to quit leaking. So we took it to our mechanic here in Kings Mountain, and evidently when the tire blew out, it cracked the rim. And so yeah, Brandon's got some of the worst luck, man. But so a brand new rim is another $300, and then we'd have to pay somebody to take the brand new tire he just paid a dude to put on that rim. We'd have to pay somebody to put it on this other rim. So I think my mechanic is gonna kind of look out for him on that. And but so we didn't want to, because Brandon pays $300 for a rim, and he still ain't got no spare tire. And if anybody with Hyundai ever hears or sees this video, you ought to go back and send every freaking one of them little kids that bought a Hyundai, because they love that little car, a spare tire. That's just ridiculous. I mean, nowadays, you know, we're not teaching kids even how to change a spare tire, but then we quit putting them in the car. And those things are selling off the lot without a tire. It's just ridiculous to me. Anyway, so $300 that he don't really have. So I was Facebook Marketplace. Praises to God for Facebook Marketplace. I love it. That's about the only reason I got a Facebook. But anyway, I got on there and I put Hyundai Veloster wheels, whatever. Boom, dude in Monroe had a whole set of used wheels, rims that'll fit Brandon's car for $100. I was like, Brandon, we can buy them. I'll take this tire, get it put on, get Shane to do it. We'll put it back on your car. We'll take one of the extra rims, get Shane to put a used tire on that, put a spare tire in your trunk, and then we can sell the other two back on Facebook. Or Brandon, I think, kind of wants to just put them in the garage or keep them here at my place. They all love storing stuff here. But I'm like, you know, are we really gonna need 2 more rims at any point? But whatever he wants to do, I think he could try to sell them back on Facebook. I mean, if he was to sell them for $50 a piece, which that's what I've seen a lot of them for sale for, he'd get his money back, or some of his money back. But anyway, we'll talk through all that. But so yeah, Brandon's up here. He's in Leah's car, but tomorrow I got to figure out, because I'm going to work tomorrow. Another praise. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm not really. I want to see everybody, and I want to kind of get back in it, but some of the stuff that I'm walking in and I got to deal with, I just don't want to deal with it, man. God. I don't know. But I mean, it's a double-edged sword, you know. I want to be back in the loop, and part of the team. Life goes on, start making progress. But at the same token, I just don't have the patience and the strength and the endurance right now to probably work through some of this stuff. But so pray for me on that. Pray for me going back to work tomorrow. And you know, all the different things. But and then continue to pray for Leah. She's still not sleeping, and a couple things, because you know, yeah, I'm dealing with stuff, but everybody is, man. So Leah's got a couple things. You know, she takes pills and medicines, and she's working through some things too. So do not start with me. I wish I need to get him on camera. He's an aggravating little scoundrel. Let me see if I can let him in. Y'all hold tight. All right, I'm back. I'm already 14 minutes in, but this is one that's been kind of piddling around on my heart. So I'm gonna do some reading today with y'all. I just got a text from a buddy of mine. He's like, he has risen. Amen to that. But today, I want to talk about a part of the story before the story. And I know I didn't make a video. Well, I kind of did make a video. I kind of half did a video yesterday. Kind of like you said. I mean, like I said, I had so much going on, and I don't want to just come in here and kind of talk at y'all. I want to have something productive to share. So anyway, I've been in the Word a good bit this morning and praying. And like I said, we're going to also today, and this video won't get out because Jimmy was writing sermons and stuff this weekend, or Friday and Saturday, because Jimmy actually does a lot better job than I do at putting thought into what he's talking about. And I don't know if you guys, maybe you'll see this later, whatever it be, but somehow there's a way, River Springs Church, I'll see if I can share something on Facebook or something. They're live streaming for you people that are in a situation like me that can't be around nobody ever again or whatever, and COVID and blah, blah, blah. You can still plug in a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So I'll try to figure out a way. Maybe I can share something on Facebook, because I think even when he live streams, you can watch it later. And hopefully me and Leo will be able to tune in today. He's on the move. He's hunting. He want one of my chickens. Old aggravating thing. There he is. He's beautiful, though. Man, he's beautiful. I wonder what he's saying. I think because he's got a mate. There's two of them. And I think when he's on the hunt, he tells her stuff. Or she tells him stuff. Probably she telling him, ain't it? That's how it works, ain't it? She's probably saying, you go over there and you tell him you scare that thing, and I'll go get this. But they got it figured out. And they are very good. One of my favorite things before we got chickens, I loved, you know, like people have favorite animals or whatever, predatory birds. Eagles, hawks, falcons. I just loved them. I thought they were amazing. And golly, man. We were in downtown Columbia one day, and I was picking Lee up from school, because this is when she was working full-time job, had 3 kids, and going to school full-time. She's so amazing. Yeah, I gave that up a long time ago. But anyway, I was sitting in the parking lot waiting on her to come out, and I saw a freaking hawk come off of a building, side building, swoop down, catch a pigeon in midair with one talon, grab that pigeon, lit on a tree. So help me, I was parked here. The tree was right in front of my parking spot, and he was about 14 feet off the ground, and I sit there and watch that hawk eat that pigeon alive. And he ate the breast only. Just ate the breast and then threw the rest of it down. And I'm like, man, he only eats white meat. I like dark meat. But anyway, I just thought it was real funny. And so, not funny that the pigeon had to die, but I mean, that's just a cycle of life. Whether we like it or not, that's going on. Cycle of life, whether we like it or not. I'm gonna feed the dirt one day. Probably I'm gonna ashes. This might be a whole nother theological debate for somebody, but I have, and you guys probably be like, what? But at this point in time, and till God reveals something different to me, I am absolutely fine with being cremated, and I would like my ashes spread, some of my ashes spread on this piece of property right here. That's what I want to do. I've already kind of planned out my whole funeral. I talked to my kids, and they can, keep a little bit of my ash. Maybe I'll make each one of them wear it in a piece of jewelry all the time as a punishment. No, I'm just picking. But they can do whatever they want to with them. But I do want a little piece sprinkled right here on this 7.5 acres. And praise to God, maybe by then it'll be more than 7.5 acres, and then they can spread it a little further. It won't be so confined. I'm a big guy. I need a lot of room. But anyway, I don't know why I got on that tangent, but yes, spread my ashes. Oh yeah, because I'll become part of the cycle. Anyway, so today it was kind of put on my heart to share something with you. So there's going to be a good bit of reading, and I'm not going to try and make this too long, but I'm in Matthew 26, and I didn't get my apologetics Bible. This is the one that my sister-in-law, Kim Coulter, who I love very dearly, gave to me, and I probably did not date this sucker because oh yeah, I did. Look at that. So Leah gave me the apologetics Bible in, what did we say? Was it August of 2010 or September 2010? So Kim gave me this Bible for Christmas. My name, Kevin Bogdani. And I don't remember, she may have had that done, or I may have had that done. Any Bible I buy, even if it's like a $2 Bible at the Christian bookstore, You can pay like $3 and get your name on it, and I just love it. So anyway, she gave me this one, Christmas of 2010. So yeah, this has been my go-to. This one I like because it's a little thin Bible. And there was a time when I had issues reading this for a year or so until I figured out I needed contacts because this is small print. But the reason I went to this one today instead of my apologetics don't have red letters, remember? Which is fine, except when I want to know Jesus is talking. So I went to, there's Leah. I went to the red letter Bible today, Matthew 26. So I'm going to be doing some reading. So y'all just hang in there. We'll get through this. It starts Matthew 26, and it says, when Jesus had finished saying all this, he told his disciples, you know that the Passover takes place after 2 days, and the Son of Man will be handed over to be crucified. Right? So Jesus has walked my walk, people. Jesus knows right here and there, as a man, he is fixing to meet his death. He's the end of his rope. So, and you know, as I try to model what I want to be and who I want to be through this walk, who better to model it from, right? So when Jesus had finished saying all this, he told the disciples, you know that the Passover takes place after 2 days, and the Son of Man will be handed over and crucified. So there is no amount of pain in the world that I'm fixing to go through that is worse than what happened to this man. Then the chief priests and the elders of the people assembled in the place of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas, and they conspired to arrest Jesus in a treacherous way and kill him. Not during the festival, they said, so there won't be rioting among the people. So right here, right there, and that was red letters about the crucifixion, that he was going to be crucified. Jesus knows, and now the disciples know. Jesus is on the clock. His time is ticking. And then it kind of goes on, and then they talk about something, and I'm not going to read it all because I got a lot I want to talk about, and I'm just going to take little pieces out of this. But then it goes in to talk about Jesus is in Bethany, and this woman anoints, puts oil in his hair and stuff. So as that goes down, there's a little conversation about that. And then after that, but while there, then one of the 12, the man called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and said, what are you willing to give me if I hand him over to you? So they weighed out 30 pieces of silver, and from that time started looking for a good opportunity to betray him. So then we're kind of talking about, and I'm a firm believer, all opportunities come from God. Well, Judas made a bad choice. He took the wrong choice there. So basically, Jesus has told the disciples at this point that he is going to be crucified. And in this, now Judas, one of his trusted disciples, man, which, I mean, I know Jesus knows he's going to betray him. But to me, that's painful, man. And I haven't lived this, obviously, but I kind of feel like I have. I can definitely relate to this. Anybody out there been betrayed? I mean, like to the core, dude, that it hurt you to your heart. People that you poured, that you loved so much, and you tried so hard to help them. And it could be, I don't know, man. It could be your kids did something. It could be a coworker. It could be your father. I mean, there's some crazy stuff going on in the world. It could be your wife. You could have been the betrayer. Maybe you're Judas. But it says, basically, we've kind of laid the groundwork here that one of the 12, a man called Judas, for 30 silver, says, I'll hand him over. And then it goes on. On the first day of the unleavened bread, disciples came to Jesus and asked, where do you want us to prepare your Passover so you may eat it? And then Jesus says, red letters, people, go into the city to a certain man, he said, and tell him, the teacher says my time is near. I am celebrating the Passover at your place with my disciples. So the disciples did as Jesus had directed them and prepared the Passover. When evening came, he was reclining at the table with the 12. While they were eating, he said, I assure you, one of you will betray me. So all this is going down. Jesus is fixing to get killed, beaten, just a horrible death. And to me, I wonder if this is the part that hurt him the most as a man. So deeply distressed, each one began to say to him, surely not I, Lord. He replied, the one who dipped his hand with me in the bowl, he will betray me. The Son of Man will go just as written. No, wait a minute. The Son of Man will go just as it is written about him. But woe that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been better that man if he had not been born. Now, and I often kind of think about this too, because I'm like, oh man, Judas did so much good before he made one bonehead mistake. But, I mean, that kind of alludes to, and I hope there's some real people that are real intelligent and know this story maybe better than me, that kind of leans me to believe that Judas going to hell for that one bad mistake. I don't know that for a fact, but what else is Jesus saying here? But woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been better for that man if he had not been born. I don't think this is going to end up good for Judas. Then Judas, his betrayer, replied, surely not I, Rabbi. And then Jesus, in red letters, you have said it, he told them. So that's powerful, man. And I just can't fathom. Jesus knows every detail of this story at this point. So anyway, it goes on and it says, as they were eating, Jesus took bread, blessed and broke it, gave it to the disciples and said, take and eat it. This is my body. Then he took a cup. After giving thanks, he gave it to them and said, drink from it, all of you, for this is my blood that establishes the covenant. It is shed for many for the forgiveness of sins. But I tell you, from this moment, I will not drink of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it in a new way in my Father's kingdom with you. After singing psalms, they went out to the Mount of Olives. So, I mean, he's just basically telling them exactly what's fixing to happen, what's fixing to go down. They about to betray him. There's another point in the story here, and I'm not going to hit about it today. Maybe we can talk about it later, but where like Peter denies him, and all kind of. At the end of the day, man, his band of merry men just let him down, dude. But that's who we are. Anyway, and I'm not going to talk about this part. But then let's go maybe to. We'll talk about this a little bit. While he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, suddenly arrived. So the stuff goes down in the garden, right? And Jesus is going off to pray. And another thing, and I might talk about this at another time, is as a man, Jesus kind of did appeal to God. This is my take on it. That, man, if there's another way, let's look at it. Let's talk about it. Let's see if there's another way. But he knew there wasn't. So it goes on as it goes on, and he knew it was going to go on that way. But and I forget the exact word. Maybe I will go ahead and read it. Then he came to disciples and found them sleeping. And I might talk about this more again later, because I got a thing going through my head that talks about how the different. I love the disciples, and so I think I might just kind of dig into each one of the disciples at a different time. But one of them is Peter. Peter's like one of my. I love Peter. He's so passionate and so. He's kind of like Paul, but he's also he's human. But then it says, Then he came to the disciples and found them sleeping. He asked Peter, "So couldn't you stay awake with me for 1 hour? Stay awake and pray so that you won't enter into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." And that speaks to every one of us, man. Or, well, maybe the spirit isn't necessarily willing either. But then the second time, he went and prayed, "My Father, if this cannot pass unless I drink it, your will be done." And he came again and found them sleeping because they could not keep their eyes open. After leaving them, he went again and prayed a third time, saying the same thing once more. He then came to the disciples and said, "Are you still sleeping and resting? Look, the time is near. The Son of Man is being betrayed into the hands of the sinners. Get up, let's go. See, my betrayer is near." Then it goes into, while he was still speaking, so while he's having this conversation, he's basically just thrashing Peter and them. I gave you one job, dude. Come on, man. But Jesus also knows that he's a man and that he's stupid and he can't do nothing. So he says, while he was speaking, Judas, one of the 12, suddenly arrived. A large mob with swords and clubs was with him, from the chief priests and the elders of the people. His betrayer had given them a sign. "The one I kiss, he's the one. Arrest him." So he went right up to Jesus and said, "Greetings, Rabbi," and kissed him. "Friend," Jesus said, "why have you come?" Then they came up, took a hold of Jesus, and arrested him. At that moment, one of those with Jesus reached out his hand and drew his sword. He struck the high priest's slave and cut off his ear. Then Jesus told him, "Put away your sword in place, because all who take up a sword will perish by a sword. Or do you think that I cannot call on my Father, and he will provide me at once with more than 12 legions of angels? How then would the scripture be fulfilled that say it must happen this way?" At that time, Jesus said to the crowds, "Have you come out with swords and clubs as if I were a criminal to capture me? Every day I used to sit teaching in the temple complex, and you did not arrest me. But all this has happened so that the prophetic scripture will be fulfilled." Then all the disciples deserted him and ran away. Man, that's just hard for me to swallow, but it is what it is, man. We're human. He's not. He came as flesh. So he kind of understands that we're going to betray him and we're going to let him down. That's what we do. But what I want to talk about now, wanted to give you a little bit of the backstory, because it's kind of easy to just assume that everybody knows all these stories, but they don't necessarily. But a friend of mine posted this thing on Facebook, Alex Ziegler, and it looked like it was something that he had shared from somebody else named Nick Burleson. But man, when I read that, it hit me between the eyes like a ton of bricks, because within that story, and like I said many times, Jesus knows it all. And this thing was called, it was just a little post on Facebook, "Jesus knew, but Judas ate too." And he says, this is somebody else's writing. "Think for a second. Jesus knew. He goes into that room with his disciples. He knows he is about to be betrayed. He knows it is Judas who will turn against him. He knows that he has been sold for a handful of silver, stabbed in the back by one he has poured his life into. I'm assuming about 3 years, and I told you Jesus was the perfect leader. He ate, slept, drank. He did everything with these people. There was no separation of, I can be your boss, but I can't be your friend. No, it was all in. And he poured it into these guys. Yet in that room, hours before the death of Jesus, Judas ate too. Jesus fed Judas too. Jesus prayed for Judas too. Jesus washed Judas' feet too. And then this guy says, "I struggle to fathom that kind of love. A love that would feed the mouth that deceives you. A love that was the treasonous feet of the that washed the treasonous feet of the traitor. A love that could forgive even the vilest of betrayals." And I guess I stopped there. I thought I didn't, but I did. So, to me, man, that's just such a powerful message. And he goes on to say that he realized in here that he is Judas. Um, what did I do here? There we go. So let me tell you what I did. I wrote on down one side of the page and then skipped like 3 pages and wrote on the back of another page way halfway through the book. So yeah, then he goes on to say, I honestly struggled to comprehend it. And then suddenly I realized I'm Judas. And in that moment, I am so thankful and altogether overwhelmed that Judas ate too. Ah, man, that's just such a powerful message to me. Um, and I just want to remind you guys that even though Judas's story didn't end well, as long as we have that faith in Christ, uh, we can eat too. Um, and He has an abundant love, and so He's never going to leave us. Um, but at the same token, we got to strive to do better. Um, and I think, and Jesus goes on to hang himself. Um, so, like I said, in the comments Jesus made, um, we can't all have the mentality that we're going to all get into heaven just by living and breathing. There is a hell, people, and I don't know. I ain't wishing nothing on nobody. It ain't my job to judge, but from the information that I read today, I would venture to say that probably Judas is in hell. Even though, and we talked about it a couple weeks ago, all the good deeds Judas did, there was a tremendous lack of faith in Jesus at the end for Judas, that he would hand him over. I mean, it was his job, it was going to happen, but at the same token, from Judas's point of view, he didn't believe in it. He truly went through the motions and did the work, but I question his actual faith in Jesus Christ. But anyway, you guys have a faith in Jesus Christ. I have a faith in Jesus Christ. We're going to be good. We just got to keep striving to doing. But yeah, just remember that today, people. When you get through and you do your things, we kind of talked a little bit a couple of days or weeks ago about the least of these. And we can't pick and choose the least of these that we do for. So anyway, just in that situation right there, a dude that absolutely hurt Jesus to the heart, betrayed him for a little bit of silver. It's just overwhelmed for me. And I haven't been in that situation by any means, but I can relate to a lot of this story. But I've felt betrayal like that. And I'm going to tell you, man, there's some of it, for me, it took a while to get over it. So I can't possibly imagine being in the midst of the storm and washing the man's feet and feeding him. And, in the middle of it all, Jesus had that kind of love. But thank God for that. But anyway, I'm going to let it go there with 38 minutes. So it turned out to be a long video today. I hope that I didn't confuse anybody with this story. I hope you all kind of saw where I was going with this. But I just want you guys to know that we are certainly better together, that we can get out there and do some great things and share some information with some people that'll make a difference in their life. And remember, man, that the people that hurt you the most, that's who we're called to love, just like everybody else, man. We got to love them all. So figure out what you got to do to get past that hurt, and love those people anyway, because that's exactly what Jesus would do. So anyway, as you go through today, I got like 30 minutes, 40-minute mark. I tried to do 30, but today it ran over, and I'm sorry. But anyway, today's going to be a good day, man. We're not going to have a lot of pain. We're not going to have a lot of headaches. We're going to try to be kind and loving. Oh, my goodness. So we've got a lot of pretty red-headed woodpeckers out here. I thought we had one, but I just saw two standing there together. So that's how they get around so fast. There's more than one. But anyway, we got a lot of woodpeckers, man. The big ones with the red head that are so beautiful, we got those. And then my wife found this weekend a couple of little ones that are a different breed of woodpecker, which makes sense, right? There's enough trees here for everybody to get a little poke on. But anyway, didn't mean to get sidetracked. But y'all go out there today, man. Do something special. Love somebody. Fight through the burdens and the struggles, and love them anyway. Um, Better together. Make today count. People, we woke up above ground with breath in our lungs, and God is good. So I love you and have a great day.